Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programs, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So, if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Hello and welcome to episode 50.
50?
Oh my God.
That's a big number, that, isn't it?
Oh my God. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. Now, normally for the big ones, the 40, we have three of us, but our Nance is still not well. No, it's still not well. I mean, we're recording this episode literally just after the last episode when we said she wasn't well.
Let's hope she's better by now.
And I've still got a chest infection because it was literally an hour ago when we did the other one.
Yeah.
But there isn't three of us today, but we're going to rock it, aren't we?
We must.
But we do miss our Nance.
I do.
Here.
I love causing chaos with Nance.
And are you all sensible when she's not here?
I know.
Sensible-ish.
Ish.
As sensible as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is going out on the 29th of August, which is not that far off, really.
It's not.
We're not recording too far in advance. Now, I'm going to name some people here, and you're not going to know who they are.
Fire away.
Okay. So, on this day in 1915, one of my favourite actresses was born.
Okay.
And her name was Ingrid Bergman.
Nope.
No. Okay. Have you heard of the film Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart?
Yes, I have heard of it.
Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most well-known films ever made. And my dad was a big fan of Humphrey Bogart. And when I was little, Casablanca was on all the time.
So you know
all
it well.
the time. And my dad being my dad, I don't know if this is where my sadism comes from. My dad would make me watch it. He's like, watch it. And then he'd test me on bits. I was like 8. And he said, right, who's the guy that plays the piano? What's Peter Lorre's character called? Oh, this sort of thing. And he'd make me like recite like lines from the film.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like torture. My dad thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But I was getting well on board. I'd go, oh God, what is it? What is it? Picking my brains, watch it again.
It's probably a way of bonding for him.
Oh,
maybe.
well, it probably was.
Yeah.
But nowadays it'd be child abuse, probably, to be honest with you. But I know that film back to front now because my dad made me watch it all the time. But it is fantastic. Now, Ingrid Bergman's got a daughter, Isabella Rossellini. Isn't that a spectacular name?
Hell of a name. That should be a famous name.
No, she's still alive now, and she's the spitting image of Emma, just a modern day version, basically.
Yeah.
Really classy lady, though. You know, Isabella Rossellini, you just think of this
classy.
like majestic, graceful woman. Well, she is.
Yeah.
She is every bit of that name. She's marvellous. Yeah. Now, the other person, she's a little hero of mine. Her name is Iris Apfel, and I've mentioned her before. Have you got a picture there, please, Dylan?
We do indeed.
She was born in 1921, but she only died this year.
Oh, she looks incredible.
She only died this year. She's 102. So she's an interior designer and a fashionista. Look at her, isn't she marvellous?
Yeah.
So for those who aren't watching, just type in the name, if you don't know her, Iris Apfel, Apfel. She's an American lady born from a Jewish family and very outspoken, very flamboyant, and known for her oversized glasses and a love of huge jewellery.
Yeah.
Every picture you see of her, she's got massive jewellery on, like big, massive chain links and stuff like that. And she's been like a super successful interior designer for like 5 or 6 decades with her husband.
Yeah.
And she actually, a little fun fact, she designed the White House interior design for 9 presidencies. She had a contract for 9 presidencies. She did all the interior design for them. But she died at 102. What an amazing grand old age. And what a lady. She was getting on in that photo.
Yeah.
And there's photos of her, not long before she died, and she was still every bit as extravagant and flamboyant as she was in that photograph.
Amazing. That's just her.
I mean, obviously, I don't look like her. Similarities, I've got black glasses on. But you look at somebody and go, if I live to that age, I'm going to look like her.
Yeah.
I am going to be nuts. I am going to be the lady in the nursing home with the brightest colours, the biggest jewellery, the most flamboyant glasses, and the best fucking dominatrix stories ever.
I did love you in the nursing home.
I'm telling you, if I do end up living long enough to go into a nursing home, I am going to be the entertainment.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah, definitely.
Still be doing episodes.
Right, also today is National Burger Day. Do you like burgers?
Oh, I fucking love burgers.
Do you like a burger, Dylan?
Favourite food. Honest to God, favourite food ever.
I like a burger.
Is that a euphemism? Is it? The meat.
I like a burger.
You like being the meat in between.
Juicier the better. Real
type of burger.
Real burgers, though. Mushroom double Swiss from Burger King. I don't know if they do them anymore.
Okay.
Oh my God. So they had like the mushrooms on 2 burgers and Swiss cheese. I mean, they're just not big enough though, are they?
No.
When you go to these places, you get a burger and chips, like I'd eat that 3 more of them.
Yeah.
They're just not enough. I stopped eating all that in my 20s, I think, to be honest with you, because it just didn't fill me. I'm a greedy bastard, what can I say? It was costing me a fortune, but the mushroom double Swiss, man. Oh,
Live for it.
love it.
Make your own.
We've already established that I cook roast dinners with Aunt Bessie's stuff. Get Jim to make one. No, he wouldn't be able to do it either. So, I had an email the other day from a lady called Jen. I was going to read it to you.
Okay.
Hi, all involved in the podcast. You're included, Dylan.
Hello.
Everybody always brings Dylan into it now. Yeah. I'm working my way through the episode, up to episode 28 so far, and loved every bit of it. Thank you so much for a fun yet informative show on such a variety of subjects. I was just dipping my toe into BDSM as a sub when an unrelated traumatic event gave me severe trust issues and I dropped out. The podcast, though, is making me consider if I might be ready to try again sometime and see what groups or people are available locally to learn from and with.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Hope you're all well. I'm looking forward to eventually catching up to the current content. Many thanks, Jen.
Oh, brilliant.
Now, I've brought it up because I get a lot of messages like that from people who are dipping their toes into BDSM or they haven't been on the scene for a little while, and our podcast has inspired them to either venture into the world for the first time or reintroduce themselves back into BDSM. Good. So, we're inspiring lots of people out there and empowering people, which is really nice.
It's a hard thing to dip your toe into, though, especially if you're trying to do it on your own with no guidance or...
Absolutely. But it's really nice that our little corner of the kingdom is inspiring people all over the world to give it a go or try it again. Yeah. Safely. And that's the main thing that's coming out of it, is that we're putting it across in a way that's palatable, easy to understand, and enjoyable. Yeah, and fun. Also we're reinforcing the safety aspects of it as well. Of course, yeah. Which you've got to do. If you're going to talk about BDSM, you've got to be responsible at the end of the day, haven't you?
100%.
You can't just say, there's a flogger, have a ball. You've got to be responsible when you actually put it out there.
It was like you with the electrics the other week. It's like, this is it, but this.
I mean, and that was just like a whistle stop. Of course, there's loads more you need to know about it, really. But everything that we do, you've got to be safe.
100%.
Safe, sane, and consensual. That's the little acronym, isn't it? That's the old one. Well, it's safe, sane, consensual, SSC. Yeah. But you can argue that nothing we do is safe because in the wrong hands, it could really hurt somebody. Of course, yeah. Is it really sane? No, not really. It's not. To the outside world, we are absolutely insane. Yeah. And consensual, yes, you're consenting, but you're consenting to something that isn't possibly safe or sane.
all I can think about is when me and Miss G do water, we void all them 3.
Do you? Void it all out.
You can never be completely safe, can you?
No. So the other acronym that we use now is RAC, Risk Aware Consensual Kink. That's it. So basically now when we're not saying that it's safe, but you're aware of the risks. Yeah. We're not saying that you're sane either.
But we're aware.
But you're aware. And you're consenting based on everything, all of what you've been told. Yeah. So we use RAC nowadays.
That makes a lot more sense.
Risk aware consensual kink. Yeah. Right, before I go on, very, very, very quickly, a little announcement about some forthcoming episodes. So as you know, we record live every fortnight now. So one of the 2 episodes we do on that day, one goes live, one's recorded, like this one. On the 2nd of September, we're doing episode 51, and that's live. So you can join us on Facebook for that. On the 9th of September, that is our year episode 52. And because of that, we're going live for that one as well, because it's a special episode.
Yeah.
And there'll be 4 of us, hopefully, if we're all well
alive
and able. Yeah, so Dylan is going to join us for that one. And on the 16th, episode 53, that is going to be live as well, because that would have been fallen back into the natural sequence.
Yes.
And after that, it's fortnightly again. So you're getting 3 lives on the bounce. How fucking lucky are you to interact and everything? Yeah. Now, for the 9th, for the year episode, I'm going to be asking some of you to get in touch with us with some of your favourite bits of the pod from the last year. And some of the good ones we'll read out on the day. And I'm going to be asking you guys as well. You're going to have to watch all the podcasts now. And we're asking you guys to think of your best bit and why.
I've only watched 2 episodes.
As well. The ones that you're in. Yeah. You narcissist.
All 2 of them.
Now, the other thing as well is lots of you have started following us on YouTube, but we need subscribers. So if you're already on YouTube, or you just like go over every now and then to watch us, if you can actually hit subscribe on there, that helps get our numbers up and gets us out there a bit more and throws us up the rankings and stuff like that.
Yep.
So if you can do that, and anybody else that you know that watches us, tell them to give us a little subscription as well. Now, I'm going to tell this little more at the end, because it sounds like I'm giving like loads of sort of announcements. So I'm going to leave the last announcement till the last.
Like a news reporter.
It is like a news reporter, fucking hell, Vic. So, hello to our new Patreons, of which there's loads. Hannah, Becky, Taryn, Kath, Robin, Claire, Tara P, Sharon, Jessica, and Tara B. 2 Taras, yes.
Thanks.
And a Nancy Nipple Cripple to the OG 100, seeing she's not here. Ooh. She is here in spirit. So I am going to move on to my segment today, and feel free to discuss with me if you want. Okay. I'm going to stop at some point so we can do a little dangly bit, because I want to do this dangly bit.
Okay. Do you want to mention?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been to a music festival?
So I don't think I have, you know.
Haven't you?
No.
Have you been to a music festival?
I have. I've been to Download, and I've been to Benicassim in Spain.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Nice. So I went to Donington years ago, which is Download now.
Yeah.
And it was 1992, I think, something like that.
I was 1.
Thanks. Dylan wasn't born.
No, I wasn't. It was -4.
He wasn't even a splurge on the sheet. Dear me. So I went to Donington, and it's just like Download now, but less organised, basically. It was just, we used to call ourselves smellies at the time, all the rockers. I just like a load of smellies in a big field with a big stage and toilets a million miles away.
Yeah.
And most guys were just like, you know, pissing where they could. And I did actually witness a few people just dig a hole in the ground, have a shit and cover it over again. I'm not lying. And the queue for the toilets was horrific. And when you got into the toilets, I'm like, it was so bad you couldn't even sit on the seat. Not that I would anyway. But you just go in and just go, no, I'm going to take the hole in the ground.
Yeah.
The toilets were that bad. And then me being me, I was only young, I was making me way to the front, the way you do to the mosh pit and everything. I didn't realise people like throwing drinks and everything over. Yeah. And it was only when I was starting to dry off and I was like, a smell of piss. People were pissing in the cups and then just throwing it onto the stage, and everybody in the front was just getting showered in piss. And because I didn't know, I was just like that going, yeah. All these drinks flying over. Mouth open. I was going, yeah. Showered. I had long hair. It was stuck to my head. I mean, I'm sure some of it was beer, but a lot of it wasn't, because I was stinking of piss afterwards. But, you know, you look back, you know, it was one of the best times of my life.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It was just, it just hit the fuck it button. It was absolutely brilliant. But I have to say there's probably about, 60,000 people at the time. I think Download now gets about 100,000.
Crazy numbers, isn't it?
I'm going to talk about another festival which got around 460,000 people. Jesus. And it is still unparalleled to this day. And it happened in the summer of 1969. Can you guess what it is?
No.
Dylan?
It is Woodstock.
Yes! It was the summer of love, 1969, and it was, people were still reeling after Vietnam. Yeah. And, you know, really like fighting for peace, basically. Hippie flower power and free love, drugs were all over the place. And Woodstock just came at the right time, I think, for everybody. They just needed this thing.
Just a good time.
They just needed a good time. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about it because there's a lot of facts around Woodstock that people just do not know. And I didn't know, to be honest, when I was reading around it. But the reason I'm doing it now is because it was on the 15th to the 18th of August. I was going to do it last time, but our Nance wasn't very well. I had to change my subject because I thought if I start talking at her about Woodstock, she's just going to tap out. So I thought I'll just change it.
I'll do my best. I'll buckle in.
Thank you. So it was from the 15th to the 18th of August, and it actually wasn't in Woodstock itself. It was in a place called Bethel, which was about 40 miles away from New York, and it was on a 600-acre farm. Now, the organisers, there was 4 organisers, and they were all under 26. Few quid behind them. They went to Woodstock originally to open up a recording studio because at the time that area was just full of musicians and artists, it was just a real creative hub. So they went to look for a premises to open a recording studio, but while they were there, probably drug induced, they got swept along with the idea of having a music festival. So, and they're under 26 with a load of money, so all right, let's do it. Yeah. So they went and found this farm. I'll tell you a little bit more about the farm later on, and decided to start this festival, and they did it in 6 months. I mean, to be fair, it was a little bit of a shit show part of it, and this is why, because it took them 6 months. And they had loads of great bands sign up. Some that were a bit reluctant at first because they were like, well, I've never heard of this festival, and it's in a farm like a field. So I don't really know they want to do that. And because they weren't really marketing it properly, the agents of all the bands weren't relaying the information properly. They were saying it's on a pig farm. I don't know whether I'd be bothered, you know.
Yeah.
But then some of them really got onto it and thought, you know what, could be missing out on a good thing here. It sounds really good. So some of the bands that signed up, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Have you heard of them?
Nope.
Have you heard of them?
I love Creedence Clearwater Revival.
You lying?
No, I love them. Yeah. I used to
see a bad moon rising.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Joan Baez. I don't know any of her songs. She's one of them. Janis Joplin, please tell me. Please tell me.
I've heard the name, so I probably know one of her songs.
No.
That's Spotify.
Taking on a little piece of my heart now, baby. I'm trying not to sing too much.
No, sorry.
The Who?
Yes.
You know The Who?
Yes.
Thank God for that, because the song, I'm like, I don't think I can sing that right now. Jimi Hendrix, you know Jimi Hendrix?
Yes.
He was actually the highest paid artist.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Some big names there, like, isn't there?
So these 4 guys rented the farmer's field from a guy called Max Yazger for $50,000. Now today, that is $428,500. No wonder he was made up.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. And they'd planned for 50,000 people to attend at first, but it was way more popular than they dreamed, and around 460,000 people actually descended.
Jesus.
It was originally supposed to be a paid festival, but because so many people descended and just broke the barriers down, it ended up being free.
Fuck.
Word got around really quickly that this was going to be a big thing. Once Creedence Clearwater and Jimi Hendrix came on board, people were like, we need to go to this thing. And people travelled from right across the country to go to this thing.
Yeah.
So the actual festival, it cost the organisers nearly $3 million.
At that time?
Yeah.
Jesus.
But it only turned over 1.8 million, and they racked up an awful lot of debt, and it took them years to pay that back. However, they've got the legacy still of being the most famous music festival ever and the biggest. It's iconic. So even though it cost them a fortune, they had a bloody good time along the way, didn't they?
You know? History, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like I say, this was supposed to be a profit-making venture. And the tickets went on sale at £6 a day, which is $51 now. That's quite expensive, really.
Yeah.
Or you can get a 3-day advance ticket for $18, which is $154 now.
That's about the same you pay, is it?
Yeah, for a 3 days.
Yeah.
But back then, though, you know, money wasn't. But obviously, like I said before, because so many people descended, they just broke down the barriers. Most people got in free. They were only going to release 50,000 tickets at these prices. So, you know, the other 400,000 got in free, basically. So that's why they didn't turn a profit, because people just got in for free.
Yeah.
I'd be sick. The traffic jam leading up
to Woodstock was 17 miles long. Fuck. But can you imagine the drugs, sex and rock and roll that was going on? Well, you can just imagine these traffic jams with VW vans, hippies in the background, parked up with the guitars going, cannabis, all sorts of things going on. I would just be in heaven. I'm not saying that you should take drugs, everybody, but this is the 60s. I'd probably be dead, actually. If I was alive in the 60s, I'd probably just been taking everything that was open to me, to be honest with you. It would have just been one long hallucinogenic decade for me, I think, to be honest.
For a few people, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. 17-mile traffic jam. And in the end, people just ditched the cars and walked. Yeah. And some people were known to have walked 12, 15 miles and just left the cars. God. But because of that, cars just dumped everywhere, causing absolute murder. To cope with the unprecedented numbers, there was 346 off-duty New York policemen drafted in at $50 each a day. That's $428 now, because they would have to be drafted in, especially they were paid a special rate. Along with 100 local sheriffs, several hundred state troopers and deputies from 12 other counties, just to cope with the demand that was coming into the area.
Well, you can imagine, to be fair, can't you?
Given the volume of traffic, it says, it took an insane 8 hours for commuters to drive the 98 miles from New York City to Bethel. Fuck. Crazy, isn't it? And a mammoth total of £1,300 of food was brought into the site by helicopter. 500,000 hamburgers and hot dogs were served on the first day of the festival alone at a cost of $1 each.
Oh my God.
Which is about $8.50 now.
Yeah.
Mm. But, right, get this, a concession stand attempted to take advantage of the food shortage because they actually run out of food after day one.
Yeah.
And they raised their prices from 21 cents for a burger to $1. And the festival goers burnt it down in protest.
No way.
And it said, ever ready for a state of emergency, the women's group of the Jewish Community Centre of Monticello prepared 30,000 sandwiches for the festival goers and handed them out.
Way.
Yeah. The governor at the time declared the area a state of emergency in order to facilitate the delivery of supplies of water and essential food and stuff to the festival goers. All this would have been getting billed to the festival organisers, who weren't making any money because every motherfucker was getting in for free.
Oh, so that's where all the debt rolled up from?
Yeah. This is blowing my mind. It's called the Summer of Love, and when you see the photographs, a lot of them is like all this, and flowers in the hair
I've
and all that.
A few of them now.
But actually, it pissed it down for a lot of the time. And if you remember the photos of Nance going to download and the mud was that, well, it was said that the mud was like a foot deep.
Oh.
In most of the area. And even when it did dry up, it didn't dry up completely because it was obviously dry on the top and then soft on the bottom. But there was real outbreaks of torrential rain. And the festival organisers had to stop the stage performers on a regular because there was a risk of electrocution because it was that bad, the rain. Yeah. So the first person to go on stage, hang on, where is he? Richie Havens. He went on at 5:07 on the 15th. And the person that was going on after it was stuck in that fucking traffic that everybody else was stuck in.
Fucking hell.
So there was nobody to go on after him. So to keep it going, he was just blasting out song. He'd finished his whole set.
Yeah.
And there's a song called Freedom, which ended up being a hit, I think. And he improvised it on the spot because he'd run out of material. And people were going, more. He's like, let's just make a fucking song up. And he made that up on the spot.
No
and
way.
he was even playing Beatles songs and everything just to keep it going until the other fella turned up.
That would have been fucking boss.
But the Beatles turned it down. The Beatles were asked. And they turned it down. And apparently John Lennon said they couldn't get me together. He said, well, I'll come on with Yoko. And they went, no, you're all right. Yeah. So, there's loads and loads of bands eventually that came on board once the big headliners were jumping on. They're like, right, okay, we can't miss this. So it said here that Jimi Hendrix was the top earner and he earned $32,000 for his set. Ooh. And I also read that in his contract, nobody else could go on after him.
So we had to end it.
So he had to end it, and the whole festival was late. It was supposed to end on the Sunday evening, and he didn't go on until, I think it was 9 o'clock the next morning.
Monday morning.
Yeah, and there's only around 50 or 60,000 festival goers left. But he played the iconic Star Spangled Banner at the very end, and you can still see that all over the place now.
Yeah.
There was only 3 female artists, Janis Joplin, Joan Baez, and this girl called Melanie. Now, I read somewhere about her that she wasn't dead well known, and she went behind stage to get through security because she was due on, and the security were like, no, you can't come in. She's only 19, she looked dead young.
Yeah.
No, you can't come in. And she's like, I'm Melanie, I'm due on. Where's your ID? She hadn't brought it.
Oh, fuck.
So she had to sing to the security guards to make them
to
believe her to go on stage. Yeah. Mad. Absolutely mad. 18 doctors and 36 nurses treated a total of 5,162 festival patients, according to the Department of Health. And 797 cases recorded of drug abuse. I thought it'd be well more.
Well, yeah, that's...
I thought all of them would have been drugs, to be honest with you. There were 3 deaths at the festival. 2 are from drug overdoses, while another guy, 17, died in his sleeping bag when he was run over by a tractor.
Fucking hell.
Imagine being run over by a tractor asleep in your sleeping bag.
Oh, imagine opening the sleeping bag.
I know. Oof. But nobody was ever identified or charged with his death.
You're right there, Dill.
That's just really funny.
Dylan's been a sicko. He's lost it. He's lost it behind the scenes because
poor guy just got turned into a froob.
A froob.
Tractors are slow.
Yeah.
It's like Austin Powers.
Can you imagine his eyes going boom, boom. Sorry, that was too much information there. Right, the other 2 deaths, one of them was an 18-year-old Marine, and he'd served in Vietnam. Emerging absolutely unscathed from Vietnam, but he died. But I think it was a drug overdose. He was one of the 2 drug overdoses. Yeah, sad. So, like I said to you before, the Beatles turned it down, and loads and loads of other bands turned it down.
I know,
and they were absolutely sick afterwards that they turned it down. Yeah. So, the ones that declined, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You know Stairway to Heaven, don't you?
Yeah. I've got them here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
so you're ahead of me?
I'm on your subject, mate.
The Doors.
Yep.
Yeah. You're probably reading the same thing as me.
I am.
Bob Dylan.
Yep.
The Moody Blues.
Yep.
And Jethro Tull. I didn't actually have any songs in my head for Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
And the Byrds.
Rolling Stones.
All really, really big ones. Yeah, all turned it down.
Yeah.
Now, it says perhaps the most regretted declined invite, was Tommy James and the Shondells. And you probably won't know who they are.
No.
But one of their songs is really well known, and people don't realise that they were the original band. So there's a girl in the 80s called Tiffany, who's a one-hit wonder. I think we're alone now.
Yes.
Doesn't seem to be anyone.
And that's their song.
It's theirs.
What?
Yeah.
You little bitch.
Right, so they said that they were misinformed about the size and scope of Woodstock, and they turned it down immediately. They said in an interview, we could have just kicked ourselves. We were in Hawaii, and our secretary called and said, yeah, listen, there's this pig farmer in upstate New York that wants you to play in this field. That's how it was put to us. So we passed and then realised what we'd missed a couple of days later, and they were absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
Now, the farmer who had the field, he died 2 years after the festival, absolutely loaded
Yeah.
And he sold the farm after that. So he earned all the money and sold the farm as well.
Oh, good on
So in
him.
1973, he actually died of a heart attack. That's more than 2 years later. That might just be a typo on my behalf. Maybe we should have said few. And he's only 53. And the Rolling Stone magazine gave him a full-page obituary, and he's the only person who's a non-musician to have such a tribute.
No way.
In that magazine. Yeah.
Oh, what a guy.
I know.
What a guy.
But, I mean, just looking back on that festival, I mean, it could have been a real shit show. 6 months to organise. You know, people nearly getting electrocuted with the weather, not enough food, people getting in for free, barriers being knocked down, the health and safety. Can you imagine that now? It wouldn't have happened. It would have been shut down immediately, wouldn't it? But back then, I'm surprised more people didn't die. I'm surprised more people didn't get ill.
I was thinking that.
It's just that amount of people on that farm, which is only fit for 50,000 people, how they all got in there and got out pretty much unscathed, I do not know. But it's one of them things, reading it going, oh, it's one I would have loved to have been there.
Yeah.
Imagine being like 21 or something, 19, 21.
Prime age for that,
and
isn't
you're
it?
in this summer of love, the war's just ending and everybody's like fighting for peace and harmony. You're drugged to death, drinking whatever's given to you with amazing music, with all these young hippies.
Yeah.
I was just been high the whole time.
Yeah.
I must say I've got a problem, but I would have done that. I would have had a problem. Absolutely. Brilliant.
You'd ingest anything that was passed to you, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Totally. At that age, at that time, yeah.
100%.
I think that then, when you've seen war like that and all these young men going to war and such tumultuous times.
You just want to live life.
You just want to let go. Just a little bit, don't you? Forget about it.
Yeah.
And he gave them the opportunity. So they lost loads of money, but they gave the world this legacy that is just going to go on forever.
100%, yeah.
On that note, give us your dangly bit.
That was good, that.
Thank you.
Enjoyed that.
Thank you for your approval.
Our game, Dylan, you might have seen this. So we're going to play a bit of like a word association guessing game. I tried explaining it to you this morning, didn't I?
What we'll probably do is do a dangly bit and then fetish factoid because we'll be finishing soon. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So, Dylan, if you can count us in, like a 3, 2, 1, we're both going to say a random word at the same time.
Okay.
And then if by some miracle we get the same word, the game's over. But obviously we're going to have 2 different words each.
Yeah.
And then we need to find something that links them to both the words.
Can it be any word?
Any word in the world.
Word. Okay.
Any word in the world.
Okay.
But whatever I say and whatever you say, we have to try and find something that links the two
them.
and then say that word.
Okay.
And then find
This
something
could
that links
go
them
to
two. This could, we might have to cut this.
Okay.
So
Right.
random word.
Okay.
After 3.
So we've just got to say a random word. I've got a burp brewing. I've got a burp brewing. I might have to do the burp first. Excuse me.
Yes.
God. Thank you.
That was deep. That came from the depths.
So I'll do a 3, 2, 1
Yeah.
word.
Go.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Prepped?
I think so.
Primed?
I think so.
Okay. Word number 1. 3, 2, 1.
Batman.
Ice cream.
Ooh.
Okay.
What a flavour. 3, 2, 1.
Food.
Black.
No.
I don't know. So black food. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Go on.
3.
Yeah, go on. Go
Okay.
on.
3, 2, 1.
Truffle.
Licorice.
See, I'm posh. Truffle.
And 3, 2, 1.
Sweet.
Dessert.
This is it. 3, 2, 1.
Sticky
Trifle.
toffee pudding. Fuck's sake. We're nearly there.
Okay, so we've got to get one similar now.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
3, 2, 1.
Cream.
Eclair.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Chocolate.
3, 2, 1.
Professor
Wafer.
roll. Fuck.
Okay. I'm going off the mark now.
No, I've got it.
Okay,
I've got
what
it.
we just say?
Think.
Wafer and Professor Roll.
Think.
3,
We've got
2,
this.
1.
Ice cream.
You just said ice cream?
Yeah, no, but you can link it back, can't
You didn't say the same one. Okay.
You said the same one.
So
Eclair.
Wait. Is that where you're going
Yeah.
with? Eclair. Right, ice cream and eclair.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Chocolate.
Dessert.
We're going back again.
I know.
Try it one more.
We're so close.
Go on.
Right, dessert
Okay.
and chocolate.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Chocolate
Fudge
cake. That's near enough.
That's
I mean,
got a
chocolate fudge
cake at the
cake.
same time.
Chocolate fudge cake.
It's got to be, isn't it? I just think it's funny though. A black thing. I went to truffle. You went to licorice. It just tells you like our
levels.
background.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the posh one.
I'm willing to accept cake. That was very good.
Thank you.
We
got there. We were so close so many times.
Yeah. My fetish factoid's only really little. Can we have another go? Quick one. Yeah. We got time. Just a very quick one.
We got time.
Yeah.
know.
I mean, my factoid's only little. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, start again.
Let me think of a word.
I've got one.
He's got one.
Yeah.
Go on.
Ryan, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Boom.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Tell-
Space
Television.
hopper.
Ooh. Okay.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Takeshi's
70s.
Castle.
What the fuck? Okay.
Have you seen Takeshi's Castle?
Yes.
Okay, right.
I said 70s.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
Oh,
3, 2, 1.
Craig
Games.
Charles.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Red
Robot
Dwarf.
Wars.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, Robot Wars and Red Dwarf.
no. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Games.
Spaceship.
Okay, games and spaceship.
Come on. It's,
3,
it's
2, 1.
Star
Space
Trek.
Invaders.
Space Invaders, Star Trek. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Star
Crisps.
Wars.
Space Invaders. Okay.
Yeah. 3. So crisps and what?
Star Wars.
Oh, I've got it.
3, 2, 1.
Anakin Skywalker.
I didn't have one. Sorry.
Because when he's in the lava, he gets crispy.
I think you win. I couldn't think of one. Saber. Okay, so Anakin Skywalker, Saber.
There's only one.
Right.
There's
if
only
you
one.
don't get this, we
There
are
is-
no longer friends.
I kind of really don't
Come
want
on.
to get it.
Come
Just
on.
for humour.
You ready?
And
Put on
3,
it.
2, 1.
Darth Vader. Yes!
Boom.
Come on!
Fucking get it!
There was only one. It could have
Mate,
been.
I am the biggest Star Wars fan. If you didn't get Darth Vader then, you were going to get something thrown at you.
Jar Jar Binks.
I was so tempted. So tempted.
Right, very quickly.
There we go.
Right, just before I'm going to go to Fetish Factoid, little bit of news. From November onwards, people that use iOS, Apple, and use the Patreon app on their iOS device, the iOS are going to be adding on 30% onto their Patreon fee. So what I would recommend is if you're on Apple iOS and you want to sign up to our Patreon, do it before November because you're not going to get charged more if you do it now. If you do sign up after November, don't use the app. The Patreon app on your phone. Go onto a web browser separately and do it online, because then you're not forced to use their payment system, which is going to add on the 30%. This is only to Apple users. Okay, so everybody else is absolutely fine. So I'll tell you that before we finish. So, Fetish Factoid.
Let's go. I love these.
This is something that Sid's into. Dacrophilia.
Is this when someone's crying?
Yes, how'd you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was really high.
Because there's only two things Sid's into, and one of them's already been mentioned.
It has, yeah. Bum sniffing. Dacrophilia. So, it's being turned on by crying. So it's an arousal for an arousal when somebody cries, when they see tears, and it can be for any reason. But normally it's sadistic, masochistic.
Yeah.
So it's their kink. And so they'll do things to people to make them cry because it makes them even more turned on. Now, I've seen Sid do this.
Yeah.
And our Nance ugly cries sometimes when she's been really put through her paces and she's got like mascara running down her face. Sid is like that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's just like wants to bang it all over the place. As soon as he sees tears, that's it, she's getting it.
Yeah.
So I've seen it in action and I can see how it works. It's not for me. However, I'm not sexually aroused by tears, but over the years, I've had some submissive females cry because that's what they want to do. That's their release.
Yeah.
So that you beat them or whatever, put them through the paces and they start crying. There's something very gratifying when I see tears out there. If I know that they want it and then they turn around like, oh, I'm like, I've done a good job there. Fucking good.
Pat on the back.
I am good. So it's not arousing for me, but as a sadist, it's gratifying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Especially when they ask for it. So it says here, is it okay to be turned on by crying? So it says, yeah, of course, as long as it's consensual. But at the end it says, if you're ever concerned about your crying fetish, then contact a medical professional. So in other words, if you're just going around making random people cry, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Have a little cheeky wank in a doorway, jumping out and people making them cry. Just poking people, hurting people to make them cry and have a little wank over it. That is not what you should be doing. It's not what dacrophilia is all about. And I think that's sort of what it's saying.
Yeah.
That you could be a psychopath if you're doing that. So maybe go and see a doctor.
Slightly psychotic.
Yeah. But then again, actually, Sid's scene name is Psychopath Sid.
It is.
And he suits his name
He does.
so much.
Really
he just
does.
looks like he's going to take you down with one stir, doesn't he?
He has got to stay on.
But he's
him, hasn't
actually one of the most kind-hearted people you could ever come across.
I genuinely love him to bits.
Yeah, as you all know, he heads up our charity, We're All Wise Guys, and he's put so much passion into this thing. He wants to help people desperately. He's a caring, considerate man, but he's got a stare
that could just knock you dead.
Yeah.
He's got a serial killer stare.
He has.
And he is twisted in the most sadistic way, in the BDSM way. That's why he's called Psychopath Sid. Absolutely brilliant. Love you, Sid. And your Dacrophilia.
And the other one.
So, on that fetish factoid bombshell, we're going to leave it there. Did we actually get the 4 buzzer today?
Yeah, I just missed it, but I could tell. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. We're all right. Yeah. So, if you're binge watching, put the kettle on. We'll see you in 5. If not, we'll see you next week.
I will see you next week. Lots of love.
You will.
I will.
And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the curators of chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing the Love the Paddle podcast with your friends. Don't forget to give us a follow on our socials, maybe some 5-star reviews, and feel free to send us an email to medic@thepaddlecellpodcast.co.uk, or even interact with us on Facey, Insta, and our other socials, because we love chatting to you. Make sure you stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.